This is not a fair representation of Mew post-rotation, but it's Mew, and I'm tired of seeing it, so I don't really care. Hey, Nick from 9cardTCG, and today we're going to be doing some post-rotation gameplay that I took from locals this past weekend, so thank you very much to everybody who participated and let me film. Really appreciate it. Wouldn't be able to do these videos without you. Mew is a menace. I've been dealing with it since it came out over a year ago, and I'm super ready for it to go. So we're going to show some gameplay footage of a post-rotation Mew deck. I'm extremely excited. Oh man, there are some cards coming out that just annihilate Mew's strategy. The deck I'm playing isn't one of them. It's a single strike Lugia deck. But anyway, we're gonna get right into the video. If you haven't already, do me a favor, subscribe, like, comment, all kind of stuff. Tells YouTube this is a good channel that people should watch it. And yeah, we're just jumping straight into it. So enjoy the gameplay. Okay, game is underway. I start with an Urshifu, which against the Mew deck is arguably one of the worst starts, but my opponent gets to go first. Also, not a great deal for me, especially going against Mew. Starting Urshifu, they're likely going to get 2 free easy prizes. Of course, it is just a thing that when I play someone who has Battle VIP Pass in their deck, they just find it. They just go ahead, attach the energy to the Mew, and they offered me that to cut. I forgot why they were, but it was for the Battle VIP Pass. I get the draw. We get a decent hand here. The Capturing Aroma is going to find us an evolution Pokemon. Never a bad thing. We immediately go ahead and get that Archeops. So then we get a second Capturing Aroma. We can go ahead. Now we flip a Tails, which nets us a basic Pokemon, so you know it's absolutely going to be a Lugia V. We absolutely need Lugia V, so we can get the Archeops that we just got into our hand, put it into the discard, so eventually we can use Summoning Star and get it into play. We attach the V-Guard energy to the Lugia, and I do manage to find a switch, which is absolutely insane that I just happen to have one. The V-Guard energy is going to make things just a little bit tougher for my opponent. They'll need an extra damage modifier in order to knock out that Lugia V-Star. We get the research. The V-Guard energy in this is actually super nice. So we can go ahead, tower away. We get a Nest Ball and a Scroll of Scorn. The Nest Ball gets us, well, another basic Pokemon. We choose the Lugia, and the reason I go with Lugia is because Mew does have the potential to just hit for 220 or 210. You know, whether they're going the Genesect Techno Blast or the Cross Fusion Strike, or they use Meloetta to do 210. Well, if they get a damage modifier, Choice Belt, a Power Tablet, they no longer attacking with Meloetta. They don't need to worry about the V-Guard energy. It only matters if they are attacking with the Mew Vmax. So if they attach Fusion Strike energy and the Meloetta, this Lugia is going to get knocked out with just a single damage modifier. So we really want to make sure that we have a second one in play. My opponent immediately evolving that Mew Vmax. Not what I want to see. And they go ahead and play the Elisa Sparkle. They are going to target down the Mew and the Genesect. Interestingly enough, they choose the Genesect. I'm not really sure why. If they attach to the active Meloetta, that Fusion Strike energy could have been a pivot for them to attack with the Mew VMAX, but they didn't go that route. They went just onto the 2 bench Pokemon, so definitely a big mistake on my opponent's part. Also, not attaching that first energy to the Meloetta. Not exactly, you know, if they attached, they could have used that, the Meloetta's attack, Melodious Echo, to hit for 210. That could have been a real big problem. Again, they just needed a single damage modifier in order to make that happen and take a KO on a Lugia, which is exactly why we got the second one. So, 2 pretty big mistakes on my opponent's part. And again, I'm not saying this to criticize, I'm saying this to just so everybody can learn from it, right? So they used Meloetta's Melodious Echo thanks to Cross Fusion Strike, and now instead of hitting for 210, it hits for 180 thanks to the V-Guard energy. To draw for turn, and really, this deck runs Drapion, so I just need to get a Drapion, and this Mew VMAX is gone. And I don't know exactly how I go ahead and do it, but Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, either one's going to do it. We do evolve onto the bench. There's the Drapion, so we are kind of set at this point. We're going to get 3 prizes. There's no other Mew in sight. I mean, we're looking pretty good. We do have to attach 1 energy to the what's it called? To the Drapion, because there are only 3 Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. So we need to find 1 energy so that we can attach it to the Drapion to attack. Wild Style lets you reduce the attack cost for each Fusion Strike, Rapid Strike, or Single Strike Pokemon in play. There are only 3. So the Dynamic Tail takes 4 energies. Luckily, we're able to get both Archeops out of the discard thanks to Summoning Star. And now we can just accelerate 1 energy to the active Lugia to retreat and 1 energy to the benched Drapion. And we can do that with both the Archeops if I have an energy in hand. It's just such an easy play to be able to make and take 3 essentially free prizes with this Drapion. We go ahead and Tower of Darkness, draw 2 cards. Yeah, we're just going to be able to get 3 free prizes. You see me using that Primal Turbo ability on the Archeops. Such an incredible ability. We attach an energy to the Drapion. I go with the gift energy because if they do not manage to knock this thing out somehow, I want to be able to draw some cards. So, gift energy onto the Drapion. We use the second Primal Turbo. Remember, Primal Turbo gets you up to 2 special energies onto 1 of your Pokemon. So even though the Archeops can get you 2 special energies, you cannot split them up between different Pokemon. The energies have to go on to 1 Pokemon. So we have to use the second Primal Turbo to get some energies on that Lugia V. I choose the DTE. It just allows me to keep an energy on that Lugia should I need to attack with it for some reason in the future. We can just go ahead and evolve it, give us a little bit more health. And even though my 3 Fusion Strike energies are already accounted for, and 2 are going to end up in the discard right now. Capturing Aroma, there's in a heads. Doesn't really matter, just kind of playing it to thin out the deck a little bit. A Tails would have been nice, because then if something does get knocked out, I have the Tyranitar, the Single Strike Tyranitar V, which can also just put in massive damage. Those Single Strike energies onto a Tyranitar. Tyranitar base attack does 240 with Single Strike Crush, and we got 4 Single Strike energies in the deck. So there's 3 prizes. Half the game is over in a single attack. You do have to put 60 damage onto one of your Pokemon, so I choose the Urshifu because honestly, it's gonna get KO'd by anything anyway, right? Anything that I attack with, that my opponent attacks with, will KO that Urshifu V, so might as well put the damage there. So my opponent drawing, and they really don't have anything to do. Unfortunately for them, I know, and I will tell you this, that I have a Serena in my hand. So if they do go ahead and bench another Mew off of this this Fog Crystal, I'm able to just boss it up and get 2 free prizes. But they go with, I think they go with this basic Psychic Energy. So this was, they go with the Pumpkaboo. They want to get rid of my Tower of Darkness, even though obviously the Mew definitely would have been a better option. I don't know if the Mew was prized, and that's why they're like, well, I might as well get something out of this, and they go with the Pumpkaboo. They get rid of my Tower. Okay, it's a little extra consistency piece, whatever. It doesn't hurt to get rid of if you have the opportunity. At this point, it became really clear that my opponent is playing the League Battle deck, which, again, nothing really wrong with that. Just, it's not the best version of Mew, but if it's what you got, it's what you got. Although, again, definitely some errors in gameplay. We're just kind of chatting about how to use Elisa Sparkle. The fact that, you know, they can search it. They don't have to get any, right? As long as all 4 aren't accounted for, which in this case it's not. So the Elisa Sparkle does fail. The Elisa Sparkle fails. The 4th and final Fusion Strike Energy is prized. Obviously, they would have selected the Genesect and the Meloetta because those are the only 2 targets available. Now, something to keep in mind, again, this was not intentional on my opponent's part. They didn't know this. I informed them that the Elisa Sparkle had to go to the discard. They had played that one in the past, and the second one, even though you search, like once you search your deck, it goes to the discard. Like once you play it, the only reason it would go back to the hand is if they physically couldn't play it because all 4 single strike fusion strike energies were accounted for. We don't know where that 4th one is. I don't know if it's in their hand, if it's in the prize. It's technically not private knowledge. It's technically not public knowledge, so they could still play it. But if you play it, even if it fails, it goes to the discard. They do use Genesect's ability to draw 1 card because they only had 1 in hand. So they just they don't really have much. I just am able to take a very quick turn and take a KO with that. I realized that I needed a second energy because they only have 2. So I couldn't actually make my attack. So we just go ahead and Primal Turbo for an energy. Really, really easy. We get a V-Guard energy just to make it a little bit more difficult. But 2 more prizes. And we just have 1 to go. And it does not matter what my opponent does here. Everything on my board can KO whatever. So we put the 60 damage again on that Urshifu. At no point am I really going to use the Urshifu. And especially seeing as I would already had 60 damage, it was just, it seems like the best target for the 60 damage. So they're just going to go ahead, Fog Crystal. That Melodious Echo is going to do 0 damage. And it looks like the Mew was not prized. So they really should have gotten one. Instead of the Pumpkaboo, that Fog Crystal should have been used to get another Mew. Again, they probably really weren't able to power it up. They have no Genesects in place, so not able to draw. They're just going to try to boss stall with one of my Archeops. I do have the energies needed to KO this Meloetta, so we're just going to go ahead and draw. I really technically only need to get 1 energy on the Archeops to retreat it and then attack with Genesect, the Drapion, because Drapion, they do have 2 Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, so I can attack for the 2 energies, and we just go ahead. We just get a Gift Energy and a DTE that's going to do 100 damage, enough to take the Meloetta KO and the game. There you have it. Single Strike Lugia taking down Mew Vmax again. I know it was a League Battle Deck Mew, and my opponent did make some mistakes, but, you know, I still think we would have been just okay in that game, even if they did, as long as they didn't, I mean, they couldn't knock out both Lugias, right? So, didn't really matter. They couldn't knock out both Lugias. Then we just attack Drapion, attack Tyranitar, gain, right? So it doesn't really matter too much. I still think we would have probably taken that just with the setup that we have. So I don't feel too bad about showing this gameplay. But let me know your thoughts. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.